Coming up on Arirang News. The world should recognize North Korea as a de facto nuclear weapon possessor state, says the UN's nuclear chief, adding that it is important to pursue dialogue with the reclusive regime. Former Defense Minister Shigeru Ishiba is set to become Japan's next prime minister as he won the ruling Liberal Democratic Party's leadership contest on Friday. He is known for his dovish stance on historical issues between Seoul and Tokyo. Fears of an all-out war between Israel and Hezbollah have heightened as Israel continues to hit Lebanon-based militant group Hezbollah with full force despite ceasefire calls. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kim Bo-kyung. The United Nations nuclear chief Rafael Grossi says the world needs to recognize that North Korea has nuclear weapons, though not legitimately, and pursue dialogue. Seoul says it maintains a steadfast and unified stance of achieving the denuclearization of the North. Our North Korean affairs correspondent Kim Jung-sil begins our coverage.
In an interview with the Associated Press on Thursday local time, Rafael Grossi, Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, asked if closing the door on North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has solved anything.
After that, what? We slammed the door, and then have we solved anything? Or are we, on the contrary, exacerbating the conditions for a situation that may go out of hand?
He added that there has been no international engagement with North Korea since 2006, when the regime became, quote, a de facto nuclear weapon possessor state.
I guess we need to recognize the fact that the DPRK, not legitimate, but factually real possession of nuclear weapons, is here to stay for a long time, maybe. And we have to reassess the kind of engagement we should have with them.
The IAEA Director General added that North Korea's nuclear program should still be condemned for violating UN Security Council resolutions and international law, emphasizing that the global community needs to keep reiterating that the North must halt its nuclear activities.
I think South Korea will have to step up its efforts and continuously present a model for North Korea's denuclearization. We will have to lead the discussion. Otherwise, North Korea's possession of nuclear weapons will gradually become a done deal, fait accompli.
Regarding Grossi's interview, South Korea's Ministry of Unification said the government and the international community maintain a steadfast and unified stance on the goal of a complete denuclearization of North Korea. Seoul added that during the 68th IAEA General Conference on September 19th, a resolution was adopted urging Pyongyang to halt its nuclear program and comply with UN Security Council resolutions. The government added it will work closely with the IAEA and the international community to advance the goal of denuclearization of North Korea. Kim Jung-sil, Arirang News.
Over in Japan, the ruling party has elected ex-defense chief Shigeru Ishiba as its new leader, and he's set to become the country's next prime minister. Our Lee Soo-jin explains more about who he is and what the election could mean for Korea.
Japan's ruling party on Friday elected former defense chief Shigeru Ishiba as the new prime minister of Japan. The race for the top post was a tight one, featuring a record 9 candidates, and was ultimately decided in a runoff between Ishiba and Economic Security Minister Sanae Takaichi after neither won a clear majority. But while Takaichi was in the lead in the crowded field of 9, Ishiba emerged victorious after winning 215 votes, compared to Takaichi's 194 votes. And as the LDP has a parliamentary majority, he is expected to be approved by the Japan's parliament, the Diet, in a vote next Tuesday to become the 102nd Prime Minister of Japan. The election comes after former Prime Minister Fumio Kishida's surprise announcement in August that he will be stepping down, effectively ending his 3-year term. Ishiba being elected to lead the world's 4th largest economy comes at a time when Japan is grappling with high living costs worsened by a weak yen. The 67-year-old is a veteran politician, having previously served as a defense minister, and marks his fifth attempt at running to lead the ruling party after an initial run in 2008. He is considered to be on the more progressive side and an outsider of sorts, as he is known to be unafraid of criticizing members of his own party. While this has earned him powerful adversaries within the LDP, it has endeared him to both grassroots party members and the public. And this is also expected to impact how he navigates Japan's relationship with South Korea. In an interview in 2017, he said that South Korea and Japan should work towards reaching a mutual understanding regarding the issue of comfort women. And when Jisomia, a bilateral military intelligence sharing agreement signed between the two countries, was nearly terminated in 2019 after escalating tensions, he commented that this crisis occurred because Japan had not fully taken responsibility for the war. With Japan ushering in new leadership and the United States holding a presidential election in November, the geopolitical landscape in the Asia-Pacific region, such as how security challenges from North Korea are addressed, is expected to also shift. 이수진, Arirang News.
South Korea is looking to communicate with and work closely with Japan's incoming Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba. A senior official from the presidential office said on Friday that the two nations will continue to collaborate in order to maintain positive momentum in bilateral relations. These remarks were made in response to Ishiba's election as the new leader of Japan's ruling party. The official also added that the South Korean government hopes that Seoul and Tokyo will make efforts to develop a forward-looking relationship as close neighbors and cooperative partners that share the same values of freedom, human rights, and rule of law, and can also benefit each other in areas such as security, economy, and global matters. Seoul and Tokyo held a rare meeting today on the joint development of an underwater continental shelf located in between the two countries, particularly oil and gas exploration in the area. With the related agreement set to expire soon, South Korea says it will continue to communicate with Japan. Our foreign affairs correspondent, Pae-eun-ji, explains more.
The Joint Development Zone, or JDZ, located south of Jeju Island, lies in the waters between South Korea and Japan. The two countries signed a treaty back in 1974, designating the zone as a shared area for petroleum and natural gas exploration, based on analysis suggesting that the underwater continental shelf may hold a significant amount of oil and other minerals. Under the agreement, exploration and development require both nations' consent. But little development has been made, and talks on the agreement have been suspended since 1985, with Japan having been lukewarm about moving forward with the pact. But for the first time in nearly 40 years, officials from the two countries sat down for working-level talks on this issue in Tokyo on Friday. Following the meeting, South Korea's foreign ministry said the two sides held extensive discussions regarding the implementation of the JDZ agreement, and added that Seoul plans to continue to communicate with Tokyo regarding the pact. Japan has not actively engaged in joint development of the JDZ area since the early 2000s, saying the zone is no longer economically viable. But some experts in South Korea believe Japan appears to be waiting for the agreement to expire in 2028 so that it can seize the area for itself. This is because changes to international law in the early 1980s favor a midline border between the two countries, likely benefiting Japan, as the JDZ lies more than 90% inside of Japan's exclusive economic zone, weakening South Korea's claims to the area. Seoul's foreign ministry claims that even after the expiration of the agreement, neither South Korea or Japan will have the right to develop the region without joint consent, as the area will be left as an undelimited maritime area, and has been urging Japan to pursue joint exploration.
We plan to continue to persuade Japan that it's important for the agreement to be extended, as this will benefit bilateral relations.
The JDZ agreement will expire in 4 years if either of the two countries confirm their intention to terminate the pact from June of next year. Pae-eun-ji, Arirang News.
Elsewhere, despite international calls for a ceasefire, Israel maintains its military offensive against Hezbollah, targeting the Lebanese militant group's key figures. Additional Israeli strikes on Lebanon have killed more than 90 people. Park Eun-woo brings the latest.
Fears of a possible full-scale war between Israel and Lebanon-based militant group Hezbollah escalate as Israel shows its firm stance to fight, despite the U.S. and its allies calling for a ceasefire.
We are continuing to hit Hezbollah with full force, and we will not stop until we achieve all our goals. First and foremost, returning the residents of the north safely to their homes.
Another Israeli airstrike in the Lebanese capital Beirut on Thursday local time killed at least 2 people and left 15 wounded, according to Lebanon's health ministry. The commander of Hezbollah's aerial command, Mohammed Surur, was reportedly killed during the attack. And more Israeli strikes were made on Thursday in Lebanon, resulting in 92 people dead and over 150 wounded. Though Hezbollah hasn't yet commented about the calls for a ceasefire, it also attacked Israel with multiple rocket launches on Thursday. On the same day, Israel also conducted a military exercise to prepare for a potential ground invasion in Lebanon. Meanwhile, the U.S. and its allies have called for a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah. The proposal for an immediate 21-day ceasefire to allow negotiations between Israel and Hezbollah was made during a statement at the UN General Assembly on Wednesday. Since the escalation in Israeli strikes on Hezbollah on Monday, nearly 700 people have been killed in Lebanon. Israel and Hezbollah has been striking each other almost daily since October 7, when the Israel-Hamas war began. Park Gon-woo, Arirang News.
As part of the government's healthcare reform, the authorities have outlined plans to inject funds worth $2.5 billion annually so that large hospitals can better focus on taking care of critically ill patients. Shin-Young has the details.
The government will launch a pilot program next month to reform tertiary care general hospitals, prioritizing the treatment of critically ill patients. According to the plan announced by the Health Ministry on Friday, hospitals participating in the program will need to increase the proportion of high-level treatments, such as those for critically ill patients and rare diseases.
The government will restructure tertiary care general hospitals to focus more on treating critical, emergency, and rare diseases, gradually increasing the share of high-level treatments from 50% to 70%.
The number of hospital beds for patients with mild conditions will be reduced by between 5 and 15%, depending on region. To help participating tertiary hospitals transition smoothly, the government plans to invest 3.3 trillion Korean won, or around $2.5 billion of its health insurance funding annually, amounting to 10 trillion won, or about $7.6 billion over 3 years. The government has also decided to increase fees for 910 critical surgeries and raise fees for intensive care units by 50%. It stated that even with the fee increases, patients will not have to pay more during emergency care.
Patients won't have to pay extra during the emergency care period. We also plan to make sure that patients with severe conditions won't face extra charges after the emergency care period ends.
The government plans to improve the critical patient classification system to clarify what counts as critical. Instead of solely relying on the diagnosis, this new system will consider factors like patient's age and health condition. Shin-Young, Arirang News.
Earlier on Thursday, President Yoon Suk-yeol welcomed the inauguration of the country's AI committee. That being said, our senior correspondent Oh Soo-young sat down with his Secretary for Artificial Intelligence to learn more about the administration's plan to rank Korea among the world's top 3 in the field of AI. Do take a listen.
South Korea will take the lead in innovating and shaping the future of artificial intelligence to benefit humanity. That's according to Presidential Secretary for AI and Digital Lee Kyung-woo in an interview with Arirang TV. As AI sweeps across all industries and areas of society, Lee said South Korea has a plan to secure its position as one of the world's top 3 countries leading the transformative technology.
First off, we'll develop a comprehensive AI ecosystem. AI ecosystem is composed of several sectors, such as semiconductors like processors and memories, platforms or software frameworks, consumer and industrial products for on-device AI, and AI services and applications. Indeed, South Korea is one of the countries to have a unique ecosystem including all of these sectors. To secure position among the top 3 global AI leaders, we must elevate several South Korean companies to the forefront for their respective sectors.
On Thursday, President Yoon Suk-yeol launched a committee on AI made up of top industry experts and senior public officials to establish a national vision and framework for promoting innovation and private sector-driven growth.
Well, you're known to be South Korea's top scientist in the field of AI with corporate experience as well. And what kind of strengths do you think South Korea has in the field of AI, and how should such advantages be leveraged?
Yes, South Korea has a robust AI industry already with several achievements. For instance, South Korea introduced the world's first high bandwidth memory, or HBM, and has established itself as a global leader in semiconductor sector. In addition, Korea was the third country in the world to launch generative AI services with large language models. The country has developed a distinctive AI ecosystem, as I mentioned earlier. Furthermore, its strong manufacturing sector helps quickly integrate AI into products like smartphones, cars, and home appliances. By leveraging these strengths to advance research and development and business models across various sectors, South Korea is well positioned to compete effectively on the global stage.
But with concerns about how AI could potentially be used, a global rulebook is needed. Since taking office in 2022, President Yoon Suk-yeol has highlighted the need for new standards and norms to ensure AI does not infringe on privacy, safety, or other individual interests. The South Korean leader declared a digital Bill of Rights at the UN General Assembly last year.
This initiative emphasizes 5 core values: freedom, fairness, safety, innovation, and solidarity, with the aim of creating a brighter digital future for all. We are at a point where we need to maximize the innovative value brought by AI while minimizing its potential side effects and misuse through various efforts. We anticipate that AI will serve as a crucial key to ensuring in an era of shaped prosperity for humanity. Korea will take the lead in establishing a model AI society and will contribute by sharing its achievements with the international community.
I see. Well, Secretary for AI and Digital, Dr. Lee Kyung-woo, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you.
Over to a legal battle between Samsung C&T and a U.S. hedge fund. A local court today ruled against Elliott Management, denying its claim for an additional delayed interest payment from Samsung related to a controversial merger 9 years ago. Moon Hee-ryun has more.
A South Korean court has ruled in favor of Samsung C&T in a lawsuit filed by U.S. hedge fund Elliott Management, denying Elliott's claim for payment of additional delayed interest. The Seoul Central District Court on Friday dismissed the American firm's claim for 26.7 billion Korean won, roughly $20.3 million US, from a dispute which stems from the 2015 merger of 2 Samsung Group affiliates. Elliott had held a 7.1% stake in Samsung C&T and opposed the merger of the company with Cheil Industries on grounds that it undervalued the company and its share valuation. The matter was eventually taken to court as the controversial merger went ahead. The two parties reached a confidential agreement in 2016 where Elliott withdrew from the lawsuit as Samsung C&T agreed to pay a higher share purchase price than the initial offer of 50,000 won per share. The hedge fund received a settlement of around $54.9 million in 2022 after the Supreme Court ruled that a share purchase price of around 66,000 won was appropriate, only to file another lawsuit. It claimed that while other Samsung shareholders had received delayed interest for a longer period, it had not and was therefore entitled to additional compensation. The Seoul Central District Court stated that the agreement between the two parties did not include provisions for delayed interest, and also noted that calculating delayed interest on a per-share basis would be complex due to varying timelines for different shareholders. Elliott also launched an investor-state dispute lawsuit against South Korea back in July 2018, claiming that government involvement led to the controversial merger being approved in 2015. Last year, an international tribunal ordered Seoul to pay $108.5 million, a ruling which has since been contested by South Korea's Justice Ministry. Moon Hae-ryun, Arirang News.
October 2nd next week is Senior Citizens Day here in Korea. As the country's aging population means seniors make up a larger portion of society, more of them are rejoining the workforce. Our An Sung-jin went to find out more.
In South Korea's aging society, more of the elderly population are looking to get back into the workforce. But what is driving this age group back into the job market?
I'm sure it's for the money. I don't know about it now, but us old people didn't have a proper pension system. So as long as you are healthy, it's nice to move around a bit.
I think the first is for financial reasons, and the second is that I don't want to be a burden to my children. Even after working for more than 40 years, the national pension that I receive is not enough. So since I have the energy left to work, I think I'll work for the next 5 to 6 years.
This is why so many elderly people are still working. Recent data from Statistics Korea shows that the main reason those aged 65 to 79 re-enter the workforce is to earn living expenses, followed by the desire to stay active and find joy from work. Data from the Ministry of SMEs and Startups indicates that a record number of people aged 60 and older are in employment. They account for more than 22% of the total workforce. The Seoul Senior Employment Support Center helps them prepare for a second career. 66-year-old Choi Seung-hee is one of those who makes the most of the programs on offer.
도보배달 앱에서 신규 배송이 뜹니다.
Choi spends her time delivering small items over a walkable distance, whether it be groceries, cosmetics, or simple meals. She'll choose her delivery order and head to the store to pick up the item. Once it's been received, she'll double-check the destination and head to drop it off. Choi says this side hustle has given her life so much meaning.
When I had nothing to do, not only was I lonely, but I did a lot of unnecessary overthinking, which is why re-entering the workforce helped me so much. It's a great benefit that I can stay healthy and make my own pocket money as well, so I'll continue as long as I can. I hope there are more opportunities for seniors in the job market.
The Seoul Senior Employment Support Center teaches its elderly students the tools needed for the modern workplace, such as how to use maps on smartphones.
We teach basic skills necessary for employment, such as how to write a resume, search for jobs on a smartphone, and other educational programs. We also provide job training depending on the various sectors of employment. As we enter a super aging society, and since everyone is healthy and passionate, there are a lot of seniors who want to work. Our goal is to provide the necessary education and help them work as much as possible.
The Health Ministry has pledged to create more than 1 million jobs for the elderly population by 2027. However, other factors also need to be improved, whether it be the quality of the jobs or the sustainability of these senior programs.
It's important to create jobs other than those created by the government. I think the current system that prevents people from working because of their age should change. If people have the physical strength and the ability to continue working, I hope they'll be given the opportunity to work.
The elderly population in South Korea is only expected to grow, and in order to cater to their needs and utilize them as effective workers in society, education and job training seems vital. An Sung-jin, Arirang News.
A major South Korean culture and lifestyle festival will be held in Hungary next month. The Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism and the Korean Foundation for International Cultural Exchange announced on Friday that they will host the 2024 MOKKOJI Korea from October 5th to 6th in Budapest. The first MOKKOJI Korea festival was held in 2020 to boost awareness of Korean culture and broaden people's interest in K-pop and lifestyle in the country. According to the Culture Ministry, there is a great deal of interest in Korean culture in Hungary, despite the lack of K-pop related events. But that changes this year with performances by Sunmi, AB6, and Dreamcatcher marking the first time a large-scale K-pop concert with multiple acts is being held there.
Even though it's the end of September, late heat continues throughout the country. The humidity is low, so the heat doesn't feel severe, but the temperature is 3 degrees higher than in previous years. It will be sunny during the weekend and the late heat will remain. The strong easterly wind will blow and rain will fall on the east coast. Currently, it is raining in the northeastern part of Gangwon-do Province. Heavy autumn rain of up to 100 millimeters will fall in this area. In addition, there will be showers in some inland areas until tonight and in northern Chungcheongbuk-do Province and Gyeongsang-do provinces tomorrow. Tomorrow morning will start around 20 degrees Celsius, including 19 degrees in Seoul, Daegu, and Gyeongju. Daytime temperatures will be 26 to 30 degrees all over the country. Early next week, the temperature is expected to drop significantly as the cold air comes down. That's all for Korea. Here are the weather conditions around the world.
That's all we have for today. Thank you for watching. Arirang News will be back on Monday, 9 a.m. Korea time. Enjoy your weekend and goodbye.